It's a male, and as you guessed, he's sentient. No, he didn't resist. The ship's veterinarian, a Shakith named Ghinta from Vri, reported. Captain Antiktun rolled his eyes but brushed off her attitude. Her race graceful, to armed, four-legged ungulates, were inherently law-abiding and could never be comfortable with the exotic animal and slave trade. Even though her role was just to keep the merchandise alive and healthy, it didn't sit well with her. It was ironic that she was part of the cargo herself, not yet for sale, but would be as soon as a better veterinarian could be found. A tiny whelp like that wouldn't have stood a chance. The captain chuckled. He must be smarter than he looks. Be grateful, though, since you don't need to patch him up. You can take the rest of the day off unless something comes up. The short fur on Ghinta's back, brown with white accents, lowered slightly. It was rare to see her without her hackles raised. Antiktun wondered if he was going soft. He'd have to extend her hours tomorrow to make up for it. There's something else you should know about him, she added, her tone brighter than usual. He seems like a nice young man, but I think he could have been more dangerous than you suspect if he had resisted. He's heavily muscled, far more than what's typical, even for a high-gravity world. And he's a carnivore. That caught the captain off guard. Carnivorous species were rare in the universe, and sentient ones even more so. In fact, he couldn't think of a single intelligent species that routinely consumed other creatures. Except for one. He glanced at the deck beneath his broad hooves, thinking of the lithe predator locked deep within his ship's hold, a night beast from a Class 11 death world. Its sentience was questionable at best. Captain Antiktun ran his thick tongue over his blunt teeth. He doubted this hairless whelp was anything like that. That's not possible, he said. Our newest guest, what did he call himself? A human, Ghinta replied, named Stee-Ven. The human has herbivore teeth. I don't see how he could be a carnivore. When I saw his teeth up close, he rarely showed them, but when he did, I noticed small fangs, two on the top, two on the bottom, right here. She pointed between her incisors and molars. Little fangs. Really? The captain still wasn't convinced. What else? Tell me you didn't notice the way he stares. Those two eyes, how do they make you feel? Instinctively, Antiktun felt a deep, unsettling fear. Creeped out, might be the better word. Despite the human's small stature, only chest high. And when I was figuring out what to feed him, Ghinta continued, I was shocked to find that half of the rations in his craft, by calorie content, were animal protein. She looked nauseated, and he sympathized. It was one thing to discuss eating flesh in theory, but seeing an animal's carcass prepared for consumption was revolting. Point taken, Antiktun said. I'll be careful.